Hey, g'day boys and girls, Sheilas and blokes. My name is Jacob and today I want to talk about an upcoming game called Granblue Fantasy Relink. This is a game I've been wanting to play for a long bloody time. I first saw the gameplay reveal that came out of GBF Fest 2018, and that exact same day I started playing the mobile game it's based off to get a feel of the universe. This was during the Christmas celebration that same year, so I got a lot of free stuff just as I started playing the game, so I had a really strong start. I played it a lot that following year, but the year after my interest died down, so I only really play now during seasonal events where I get all the free stuff, and also when there's events for characters I'm really interested in like Eustace or Siegfried. But enough about the mobile game, I'm here to talk about this full console RPG. So a demo released yesterday, and I just finished playing it when I decided I wanted to make this video. So I'm going to gush about what I just played and why I think the game's similar to both Monster Hunter and Final Fantasy, why I'm excited for that, and to play this game with mates and other people online. Right off the bat, this game looked visually stunning. The game launched in performance mode, so I didn't have it set to graphics just yet. I played through the start of the story demo segment, then I switched it to graphics, but in either mode it doesn't matter. I was stunned. The game looks gorgeous. This is a game that has such a nice art style, even on just the mobile game with the illustrations. It's nice seeing that all that done in 3D, it's just beautiful. The combat is fun. It was originally worked on by Platinum Games, but I believe they stepped away back in 2019 or 2020, so they aren't involved much anymore. But that early work anyway definitely inspired what the game has become now. So for the story segment, you play as just Gran, with his basic class from the start of the mobile game, but even though he was like basic, he was still a lot of fun to play, and the characters and the way they talked with each other in gameplay was really cool. I played the game with the Japanese audio on because that's what the mobile game has, and it's all fully voiced only in Japanese, there's no English at all. So I find it strange hearing the wrong voice come out of a character's mouth, so I stuck with the Japanese audio. So I couldn't really understand what they were saying that well, but I do know the characters' names and I understand the tone the voice lines were set in, so I can kind of feel their intention. It's really cool to get that and hear the unique dialogue, especially in multiplayer parties where the characters everyone's using aren't normally together in the story of Granblue Fantasy. Really what I'm saying here is, as someone who is a big fan of both this game and the mobile game and the fighting game, which, despite what it sounds like, I'm not a die-hard fan. I'm a filthy seasonal player, as the real hardcore grinders would call me, but I like the characters, I like the story, and I like the world. I love how all these get represented here in 3D with the full action gameplay. It's amazing. They've gone from turn-based combat of the mobile game to this, and it's so fun. I cannot wait to get my hands on the full game. What was shown in the trailer looks absolutely incredible. It's gonna be well worth the many delays there's been. I want to talk about the multiplayer stuff, and the footage I have playing here is me playing with randoms. I didn't think to make this video until after I stopped playing with my two mates when we ran through all three of the quests available in the demo together, my bad. So far I've played as Gran in the story, then in multiplayer I played Siegfried for the first two quests, then in the last quest I played as Rakim. With the three of these, they play really different from each other. Gran is like your normal anime protagonist with a sword, and that's fun. Siegfried is strong, he's slow, he buffs himself, and then he counters. I love it. And Rakim reminds me a lot of a machinist from Final Fantasy XIV. You got a heat gauge with the gun, and you shoot until it's really hot. Then you use the charge attack, which shoots quicker and it charges faster. It does a lot more damage, but that's just 3 of the many characters available. I'm pretty sure there's meant to be over 20 something in the full game. It could be even 30, I'm not sure, I haven't looked at it that closely. But in the demo, you only have 10 to choose from, and I didn't play them all, and I'm not planning to play them all either, not until the full game anyway, because I don't feel like investing that much time into a demo when none of my progress carries into the full game. It was fun, even if the quests in the demo were a bit short for my liking. I saw in the pre-release footage shown in I think 2019, 2020, 21, I'm not sure when, but it shows a multiplayer quest of the party running through a map fighting things, and when you get to the end there's a big boss and it plays a bit like Monster Hunter. Well, originally I thought of it like God Eater, but Monster Hunter inspired that game, so I used Monster Hunter instead, since it's more relatable to people watching. I mean, most of my channel so far has been only Monster Hunter videos. So you and your mates, or NPCs if you don't have anyone with you, You fight these bosses for a few minutes and you can break its parts too. I think in this video, I don't know if it's showing when I'm saying this. I'm not going to heavily splice the footage this time, but the monster's horn does break, and I was trying to cut the tail off when I did this quest with my mates earlier, and now when I'm doing this. I don't know if tail breaks are a mechanic in this game, at least not on this boss, but you can see it kind of plays like an action-based Monster Hunter, more than even Rise Plus Sunbreak, because that game was still trying to be a Monster Hunter game, but Relink is like, nah, we're going full action. There's definitely a Monster Hunter feeling here. There's a village hub base where you accept quests and you go out and fight monsters to get loot, then you come back in town. There's a smithy here to create better gear and upgrade characters. It's not going to be exactly like Monster Hunter. For starters, the weapons are like, they're basically characters that have the different playsets. You don't equip different weapons. And you also don't change individual armor pieces, and the armor doesn't change appearance. There's no armor skills either, at least I don't think it has. The weapons in the mobile game have skills, so there could be some skill system to this. There looks to be perks. It's interesting. So it plays a bit like Monster Hunter with the multiplayer, but then there's the story stuff, which is single player only. I wish it was multiplayer. That'd have been cool to be a fully multiplayer game, but oh well. So Granblue Fantasy is kind of like Final Fantasy, and I say that not like a comparison saying everything hard is like Dark Souls or everything cel-shaded is like Breath of the Wild. I mean it because Granblue Fantasy is a game made by a lot of former Final Fantasy developers. Final Fantasy's influences in Granblue Fantasy are very strong. A few of the things I pick up on are the races are kind of close to Final Fantasy XI's races. The class that the main characters can equip are like, a lot of them are very Final Fantasy inspired. I use Arcana Dealer, I think it is. Well, I use the tier 4 version, but they kind of, like the tier 3 one looks like a red mage, so I have the red mage appearance on my tier 4 character. It's really cool, but the summons also look like they're from Final Fantasy, or Primal Beast as we call them in this game, and some of them like Leviathan look one-to-one, and it just makes me like Leviathan even more. And the music is composed by Nobu Uematsu. He's like the Final Fantasy music guy, or at least all the older titles, and nowadays Oken has kind of taken up his mantle, but I digress. Granblue Fantasy has a really cool world, and I'm excited to see all of it in this new game. So it's time for some outro stuff. I want to say this is a very different video. You could probably tell if you've watched my last two. Not only is this not particularly focused on Monster Hunter, but I wanted to try presenting it more of how I talk normally, I guess. In my previous videos, I would write down what I wanted to say, then read it word for word. I would spend way longer trying to write a script than editing and collecting footage combined, and then ending up not happy with the script once I've recorded everything. But for this I wanted to just like talk how I normally would and just talk off the top of my head. I feel like it makes a more comfortable listening experience maybe? Let me know if you like this better or not in the comments. I can definitely say this helps me make a video a lot quicker, not wasting most of the time writing stuff down and saying it. Also, if you had watched my last video, I said the next two videos I have planned are based on Monster Hunter, and that wasn't a lie. This is not one of them because this video wasn't planned. Those videos are still coming. I've got a few small problems happening with those. It's not major, but they are delaying the video getting finished, so like I said in my previous video, they'll be out soon as I can get them finished, so please subscribe for that. I'm putting a lot of effort into these. Please subscribe for more variety stuff as well. Similar to this, I would like to talk a bit more about Granblue Fantasy in the future, not just Relink, but like the mobile game and the fighting game too. I haven't played Versus Rising yet, so maybe I'll talk about that when I finally get to playing it. Also, like this video too if you enjoyed it. Please comment anything for engagement, it really helps me grow. If you want to talk about Granblue Fantasy, Monster Hunter, anything really, just pop a comment for engagement. Perhaps you feel like adding me on the mobile game or PSN where I'm going to be playing Relink. I'm happy to do that, all you gotta do is just ask. Alright, that's all. Have a good one, people. Cheers.